Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today for Tuesday, February 3rd. My name is Ken Shreve. On today's show, well, not too bad a day for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Russell 2000, but quite a different story for the Nasdaq Composite and Nasdaq 100 today as tech stocks, specifically software and semiconductor stocks. A tough day of selling in that area of the market. S&P 500 also under some selling pressure today. Looks like we got distribution days for the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Before we get into all of that, let me bring on our news editor, Ed Carson, who's going to talk a little bit about this rotation out of tech stocks today. He's got three stocks to watch. Good afternoon, Ed.
Good afternoon. Want to talk about one of the winners that like the moose shift into staples, and that would be Pepsi. Also, Biotech Halozyme, and then a loser, Expedia.
Yeah, I'm looking at some big percentage, top percentage gainers in the Nasdaq 100 today. I'm seeing PepsiCo, seeing Walmart, yeah, Fastenal, not your usual large cap Nasdaq 100 tech names. So let's start by taking a look at the indexes and see how we ended up today, and we'll start by taking a look at the Nasdaq Composite under a lot of pressure for pretty much all day, but did manage to close a little bit off lows. We saw some buyers come in, lifted the Nasdaq off lows, did close below its 50-day moving average, closing loss of 1.4%. It looks like volume did pick up the pace a little bit. This is going to be the fourth distribution day in 5 trading sessions for the Nasdaq Composite. So seeing a little bit of clustering of distribution for the Nasdaq. Check in on the S&P 500, not down as much as the Nasdaq. That ended with a loss of 0.8% or so. Did touch its 50-day moving average. That also closed off lows. Looks like volume was just a little bit higher. Close call, little too close to tell right now. But selling in the Russell 2000 and Dow Jones really not too bad today at all. The Russell 2000, that is looking like it is going to be flat. Let's check IWM here. That is a little more up to date. IWM is, yeah, that looks like it's going to try to eke out a small gain today. Dow Jones Industrial Average, that is basically just down a little bit today. So Ed, really just all about tech stocks today. We saw the Nasdaq under pressure, but really the selling in software. This has been a story going on for some time today. Pretty nice earnings from Palantir, but IGV. This is our sort of our benchmark software ETF. That was down another 4.6% today after a very rough January. And then that VanEck semiconductor ETF SMH didn't do much better, down 2.5% today. So tough day for the Nasdaq.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, software is just a lot of trouble, a lot of concerns that AI software will either replace what software does, or that there'll be so many job cuts that fewer people will be buying the software. There'll be fewer seats, as it were, licensed seats. Part of the issue is that, yes, I mean, there's definitely division. I mean, is this a market retreat? Is the market rotating into other things? We'll look at some of the other ETFs, but it's like, that's unclear. And it's also day by day. I mean, okay, the Nasdaq found support, and yesterday there was a big bounce. Late last week we faded, and then okay, we got a bounce when we needed to, and then we come right back down. And the S&P, oh, it's better, but doesn't look great either. I mean, if you were buying off of yesterday, you were probably disappointed simply off of the S&P and Nasdaq. As you say, the Dow, the Russell. Look at different story. It's still not, it just makes it tricky. It's like, what's going to lead? Is the market going to go up? It's like, why we talk about market trends is because if the market is trending higher, it will tend to trend higher. I mean, it's just sort of like tautology, but it's like, so when you buy it, it'll keep doing that. But if in this kind of market where not just the last few days, but the last several weeks, even several months for the Nasdaq, we're sort of in a range, and you can't count on a day's gain leading to another gain the next day. So it just makes it difficult. If you've got something that has a nice gain, okay, the day-to-day fluctuations may not be so bad, but anybody buying recently, it's just tough. A lot of those things are going to fail or at least shake you out. So, but that also being said, RSP doesn't look so bad. That's, again, if you're stripping away the techs, some of the mega cap techs,
Yeah.
RSP looked, it's like basically at record highs, so that one looks almost as good as anything.
I was actually looking at breadth on the NYSE today. This is the equal weighted version of the S&P 500. Breadth on the NYSE today was actually slightly positive. So even
Yeah, I
though
see that turning.
RSP was just down 0.3% today, much better than the S&P 500. Actually, decliners just beat. Actually, advancers slightly beat decliners on the NYSE today. So pretty good on the NYSE. But and then on the Nasdaq, breadth wasn't too bad. Decliners did beat advancers, but it was less than 2 to 1. So not breadth wasn't too bad today on both exchanges. So we'll
No, clearly that was not the big issue though. QQEEQE, this is the 100 biggest Nasdaq 100, Nasdaq names outside of financials. That was not a good day for that. So you can see how software and chips and that, but once you get out of tech, you're right, it wasn't so bad.
Yep. But we did have other ETFs that we wanted to just take a look
Yes.
at today, because it was a very busy day for the market. Take a look at XBI. This is the Biotech ETF. I did see some movement in biotechs today. That outperformed a little bit, still showing a lot of relative strength in this market. XBI up 0.2% on the day. Also had some outperformance. David Ryan talked about this on IBD Live earlier today. The ITA, nice day of outperformance, getting support at the 21-day exponential here. That was up 1.4%. The iShares Aerospace and Defense ETF, XLI, another ETF here. The Industrial Select Sector Spider, XLI, up 0.9%. So definitely some outperformance. Had a nice rebound in oil and gas stocks that have become quite volatile lately. SLV, nice rally in silver today. SLV rallied 6%. It did close off highs, but you can see that volatility in the prior 3 sessions. I think one recent day, silver was down 25. Silver bullion was down 25%, 30% in one day. So holding support at the 50-day moving average for now. Bitcoin volatile as ever. The selling has continued unabated in Bitcoin. That
Bitcoin actually got below 72,000. Yeah, Bitcoin actually got to its lowest since November 2024. It did close off lows, but oof, it's like there was no rally with gold and silver, but it's selling off with gold and silver kind of thing. It's just been really tough. Again, there's definitely a lot of risk off areas right now.
Yeah, and then we can conclude by just taking a look at XLP. Consumer staples stock also talked about a lot today earlier on IBD Live. XLB, look at that 3-day move in the consumer staple ETF. That was up 1.6% today, and so Walmart had another nice big day yesterday for Walmart. A nice breakout over that 120 level, extending gains today up 2.9%. So
and closing with a $1 trillion, closing with a $1 trillion valuation for the first time ever. I mean, that was just sort of out of nowhere. The RS line has really been improving the last few weeks. And I think even on a weekly, it may be getting above some highs now. I mean, that's sort of like it made a nice run, for a while, then faded, and that's all of a sudden it's been doing really well. So it's unclear. That's just defensive, but as you're looking through those other things, it's not just defensive. There's rotation, some other things. I didn't mention this, but KRE, but maybe one more to look at. Just that the regional banks are doing well as well. Again, there's so that one is coming. A lot of banks are doing well, but KRE has really come on, and that was something David Saito Chung was bringing up on IBD Live. So there are a lot of things working. So it's hard to know. I mean, so you have to be nimble. If tech is probably a place you really don't want to be participating in too much. Some areas are working, but you probably wouldn't want to make your whole menu plan off of tech for sure right now. There's a lot of other things are working.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bad day for semiconductor stocks today, and also software. But the selling in software has been going on quite a while, and we also need to take a look at Nvidia. This is a big bellwether in the semiconductor space, and the selling pressure was pretty relentless in Nvidia today as well. That ended down 2.8% in higher volume today. It did close off lows, and it did undercut this recent low here of 177.61. Was a shakeout, and it did close off lows, and it's still inside this long consolidation. But Nvidia's relative strength line has really started to lag. So we'll see if it can hold above these recent lows, and see if it can base out here. But sellers in Nvidia again today, as it lagged with a lot of other semiconductor stocks today. All right, well, let's take a look at PepsiCo. I think PepsiCo had earnings today and had a nice rally. And boy, look at that move, up 4 days in a row, and 4.9% gain in very heavy volume. And it was a nice fourth quarter earnings report that the market cheered here, Ed.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, you can see there's acceleration finally getting earnings to turn positive again. The revenue growth is accelerated for 3 quarters. I mean, it's not world beating, but it's beating the world beaters right now
Yeah.
for the most part. Arguably from a technical standpoint, maybe there's a trend line breakout or a breakout over short-term highs in the earlier, late last week or maybe Monday, but earnings were coming up. So it's just like, could you really do that? There was also a buyback and a slight dividend hike, but I think it was a $10 billion buyback. So there's news out there. I think the problem is now it's getting pretty extended from the 50-day line, so it was tough to buy before. It's not after, but this might be a situation where if you really feel compelled to buy something like this, well, maybe you buy XLP. I mean, honestly, there's a few other names you might find, but a lot of things like Pepsi feels extended. We definitely have Walmart is extended, and those other things. So XLP might be a better way to play the staples right now. I mean, it looks a lot like Pepsi's chart, to be honest with you, at least recently here, sort of clearing that. So not saying that that'd be safe. Look, if people go risk on again, staples will fall. I mean, they will, and they might fall sharply.
Yes.
So, but if you felt compelled, I mean, I'm probably rather just be more cash than this. That's just me. But this looks a little high. But you definitely have to pay attention to this. It's acting well. A lot of the names in here are acting well. It's not just 1 or 2 days. So, investors have to know what's working.
Out of tech and into the staples, at least over the past couple of days. That's a look at PepsiCo. Definitely seeing some movement into the biotech space. So let's take a look at Halozyme, HALO. This is a biotech that is profitable. We like the profitable biotechs. They're not easy to find, but they're easy to find in IBD's database when you use our rating system and look at those biotechs with composite ratings in the 90s, and you can see Halozyme has been profitable since 2020, and you can see it's been generating revenues for several quarters in a row, and made a nice move today. Ed, Halozyme Therapeutics, tell us about it.
Yeah, Halo isn't a biotech per se. What it is like it does drug delivery technology. So it makes it easier to turn their drugs into under the skin shots, and so that works out.
Got it.
This one tried to break out of a double bottom base, and then today, it moved above 75.59 handle buy point. That's legit. That's a legit buy point. I mean, double bottoms can have handles. It was nice volume here. So a lot going on here. That's pretty strong growth that you've marked up there. So it's acting well. Relative strength line isn't at a high, but it is above the handle high. So I think that's a positive out there. Yeah, so this one does have some big volume moves. You can see that sometimes on earnings, it has some sharp moves, and sharply daily or sharp weekly moves. So you just have to be ready for that. This is not a sit and forget kind of stock, and it's not a set and forget kind of market. Let's be clear. You definitely want to be paying attention to things. But I think this was definitely showing a lot of good action.
Halozyme Therapeutics, definitely. And look at that biotech group, ranks 8th out of 197. We rank industry groups based on the 6-month price performance of stocks in the group. So we know that the biotechs have been doing very well over the past 6 months. And Halozyme, with that composite rating of 99, has been one of the leaders in the group over the past 6 months. So Halozyme looking pretty good in the biotech group. And I saw a lot of selling among the online travel firms, namely in Booking and EXPE. And hard to find specific headlines, but apparently there was some news about Anthropic and some of their agentic AI tools maybe affecting some of these online travel firms.
Yeah, sort of like that's the concern. They all got hit. On Anthropic released a new AI agentic tool, and maybe you'll just be able to make it very easy to just sort of bypass the online travel firms and go directly and book without that. I mean, and that's part of the issue with software. What's the value add if you can just use a tool like this pretty cheap, presumably, or that they are pretty easy to do and replicate all the experience, everything that Expedia has built up. And you just go, "No, I just want to use I'll use Claude. I'll use that, I'll just do that and I'll book it that way." And it doesn't mean it has to happen, but sometimes it happens. There are certainly these stocks that you see, look, they have an enormous market, but the whole market could go away and that seems to be here. This is sort of the kind of thing that's been hitting software, and now it's hitting a new area. And it's just something. It may not be real, but you have to recognize this is the,
Sure.
Sometimes these things happen and people go, no, are you crazy? This isn't going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that's going to be out there, and it's going to maybe something that's going to haunt these names. Even if it comes back, people go like, I don't know, maybe not today. And so that's another thing, is that we've seen certain things like they trend up, and like, we've seen it with Google and the memory names. People go, oh, it clicks. There's something fundamentally good now. But if you start saying fundamentally bad, so again, just you wouldn't have known it, but here it is, and it's not good to see. Not good to see that right now.
Again, these developments in AI have been weighing on the software stocks for literally months, and now it's starting to bleed into the online travel firms. So Expedia down 15% today on that news, and BKNG, Booking, formerly known as Priceline, did not fare much better. Booking a big decline as well, down 9% on that news today. We do have a lot of earnings reports after the close. We've been following the really strong results in the fiber optic group, and we've got another fiber optic stock. We've got AMD. Which one do we want to start with?
Let's start with AMD.
Okay.
It beat views. It guided higher, as far as I could tell, but the stock is down, and pretty decently. It's and this thing could go all over the place. It'll be interesting. It's got a couple with handle base. That's a couple with handle base. I'm not sure why it's not showing it, because that did not actually clear the buy point. But so there is a handle there, saving like 10 cents. So we'll have to see how that goes. And Nvidia, though, was not moving. So I don't know what's going on, why AMD would be down and Nvidia would not be. I don't know, but it was not really moving of any real note. It's down just a fraction, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Lumentum, that beat views. I didn't look at all the details, but that one was extended. It's going to be more extended. And again, this was pretty volatile for a few days, but it sort of got out there, and now it's going to be really out there. So great for there. Cirrus Logic, this is a wireless chip maker, CRUS. This one was below a cup with handle buy point. Looks like it might get up to that. It's pretty volatile already. I've seen it swing around a lot. It was up more. So right now it's below that, but that's going to be interesting. Amgen, I think they beat views. Haven't really looked at the details. They seem like fairly solidly. I haven't seen their guidance. This wasn't really doing a whole lot. Stock, I think, was in a buy zone, or no, it'd fallen back out of a buy point. So that one is going to be close to a buy point. Let's see what else. Sorry.
We had EMR.
EMR, and that one beat views. It looks like it's modestly higher. And I think that one we're trading in a buy zone. So fractional gain, small gain. And one more is
Yep.
Mercury Systems, MRCY. And Ben, there's like tons of others that are out there, but MRCY.
Yes, this is the aerospace defense.
And I thought they beat views, but obviously something's negative. And this was acting well. It was bouncing off the 21-day line, sort of forming a shelf here, but it looks like it might fall back, fall back toward the buy zone, or at least a big chunk of it. So a lot going on. Obviously, this could be temporary, but once again, some big moves after hours.
Okay. Tomorrow morning, Eli Lilly. A lot of people will be watching to hear what Eli Lilly has to say about their weight loss drugs. Lilly has come under some selling pressure. Definitely.
Today
LLY,
Novo
big drop
Nordisk.
for
Nordisk. I think they were supposed to. We expected them tomorrow morning, but they came in after the close in Europe. And Novo's numbers were mixed, and their guidance was weak. And so Novo, which had rebounded on its weight loss pill, was a big loser, and that obviously dragged on Eli Lilly quite a bit.
Interesting. Okay, so Lilly down on the Novo earnings. We'll hear from Lilly tomorrow morning, and then after the close tomorrow, we're going to hear from Google. We're also going to hear from another fiber optic adjacent company, Coherent. COHR is going to be reporting after the close. Looks like Coherent is moving a little bit on those Lumentum lumbers. Coherent is does those fiber optic cables. So still busy on the earnings front. And okay, well, that is going to do it for today. And Ed, thank you as usual for your market insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. That's going to do it for today's stock market today. We appreciate you joining us. I'm going to be in the host seat tomorrow for IBD Live. So if you haven't checked out IBD Live yet, just go to investors.com/IBD Live and check us out tomorrow morning. We'd love to have you. Ed and I will be back tomorrow afternoon for the Stock Market Today video, so be sure to join us for that as we navigate these volatile markets and this tech rotation. So we will see you back here tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day, everyone. Take care.